On this Money Saving Monday, we are talking about tipping. Did you know the average tip in the U.S. is about 18%? The state that tips the most is California at 23%. The state that tips the least, Illinois at 14%. In case you're wondering how well Arizonans tip, well, we rank fourth highest in the country at almost 21%. That's according to a recent article from USA Today. But doesn't it seem like these days a lot more places are asking for a tip? What's more, 2 out of 3 Americans have a negative view about tipping, and 15% of people are actually confused about who and how much to tip, according to Bankrate. So let's cut the confusion and ask the expert. Joining me now is financial consultant Angelica Prescod. Okay, Angelica, this is such a talker, really everywhere, right? So let's start out of the gate. What constitutes a tip?
Well, when you have a good experience somewhere, sometimes you just want to say a thank you. So a tip is a financial way to say muchas gracias. Thank you.
Okay, but when you say, when you've had good service,
yes.
If you don't have good service,
you don't
are
have
you
to feel
obligated?
Absolutely not. They do not.
Like zero?
They don't pay your light bill. So as long as you're able to say, hey, it's okay, I didn't really have a good experience, kindly, you're not even posting a bad review on social media. So your lack of tip might just be the only thing that hurts.
Yeah. Okay. So when should you tip?
You should tip when it kind of gives you an aha moment. For example, if something was supposed to take 5 minutes, it took 3. If someone was considering something else you're going to do and gave you a tip about the next step you're going to take.
Yeah.
If someone's willing to give you some kind of sound advice, hey, it's going to rain here, take our umbrella, we'll walk you to the car. Any kind of experience that truly shows more than just a basic ABC, I think requires for you to show gratitude.
It's like extra.
Yeah.
Yeah, they went extra for me. Yeah. Okay, so let's talk about how much extra we are talking about.
Yes.
We've got some rules of thumb here. Restaurant. When it comes to restaurants, how much are we looking at?
I think 20% is a decent amount to tip, especially when someone is serving you for the next hour and a half. If you asked for something, they were right on the spot to get it for you. And even if it's full, they're still managing to come around and check if you're okay. Let's give them about 20%.
Okay, now when it comes to the bartender,
I usually do $1 a drink. And mind you, some people do more.
I was going to say, because I always thought it was maybe like a restaurant 20% tip. And
yeah, but that also keeps you track on how many drinks you've had. If you're on your 17th dollar, this might be their 17th drink. So I think it's a good way to continue giving that money directly to the bartender.
Okay, interesting. All right. When it comes to carry out,
yes,
this is where a lot of people do get confused.
Well, yeah, 5 to 10% is decent for you to do there. I mean, sometimes they're bringing it to your house and they're coming faster than they normally would. That's a great win.
That I see.
Yes.
But a lot of times when I've, ordered carry out to be, picked up at the restaurant, am I obligated to tip? Because they'll ask for a tip.
If you're standing to receive your food, I don't recommend that it's important or necessary to tip. If you stood there and they handed you the bagel, and that's where the confusion's coming from.
Right.
If they handed you the bagel and you said thank you and that was all that happened, you don't necessarily have to tip. But hey, if they said, hey, would you like to add some extra cream cheese with this flavor? It really goes well, and you found a new way to mix up your meal, I think that does deserve a little tip.
That's the extra that you were talking about. Okay, when it comes to the salon, I think this is pretty standard, right? 20%?
Yeah.
But this is interesting. If someone else washes your hair,
I'm happy you brought that
up.
Or,
okay,
multiple
what do you
steps
do?
And multiple people.
Are you obligated 20%?
Well, you're obligated to thank you, and I recommend for you to do it in cash. So, for example, if you say, hey, she washed my hair, she dyed it. Here's an extra $5, here's an extra $10, whatever it may be. But give it directly to them, saying thank you to them. That way it doesn't end up in a big pot.
Right, interesting. Okay. Concierge reservation. So what's your rule of thumb on that one?
If they were able to get you into a restaurant you naturally wouldn't be able to get into, please tip them. Even if it's $5, $10, something for the thank you of getting me in there. So I always like to appreciate them that way.
All right, and finally, housekeeping. That's a big dilemma too sometimes.
Tip every day there, because it's different people that come to your room on a different day. So if you tip on the day that you're leaving, then that particular person's the only person that got to thank you. But if you tip even $5 in the, under the what's that lamp that you have on the side?
Oh yeah, like the nightstand.
Yeah, put it on the nightstand, and then there you have it.
$5 a day?
If you can, yes.
Okay, got it.
I mean, you do know we leave messes behind. I mean, I know.
And when you have kids,
especially a baby.
That's never enough, right, for the housekeeping. Yes. All right, and then real quick, bottom line: who do you not have to tip? Where it's not just you don't have to.
Again, back to that bad experience. I think there's anyone that you want, you can tip.
Got it.
But when you're coming back saying this is a terrible idea, don't tip. Don't feel obligated to tip. No one is paying your bills, so therefore it's your decision at the end of the day.
All right, Angelica, always good advice. Now